All right, so a video I know everybody wants to hear, the pros and cons of being a professional poker player. Let's start with the pros. First, what I think is the best is freedom and flexibility. There is an incredible level of freedom and flexibility when you're a poker player. Well, not really, since online left, and it's not the best for Americans at least. But, it used to be, if you have a computer, you can play anywhere you want. And also, you could choose to play when you want, where you want, what part of the world you want. It's a level of freedom. I mean, you set your own schedule, when you want to play, when you don't want to play. It's a level of freedom that most people do not have, right? It's interesting. And this is also a con, right? This is a con because you have so much freedom. So, you have to be able to structure things kind of, as best as you possibly can. The second thing is no boss. And that's pretty cool. No one to tell you what to do. No one to tell you this. No one to tell you to do that. No one to, yell at you if you're not there at a certain time. It's like free. Third, good money. I mean, for the most part, if you're consistently hourly rate, you can do better than the average American can, and hopefully it's something that you enjoy. It's something that you really like to do, and then it's you're making money while you're enjoying it. Can't get much better than that. However, I got to be honest with you, there's a small percentage of people that are actually consistently making money. Most people aren't. Most people are losing money or breaking even in poker. Most people aren't profiting. So, it can be good money, but for the right people. And when I say good money, I don't really think that most people have the skill level to kind of make $500,000 or $600,000 a year playing poker. I think around six figures is more like anywhere between 70 to a little bit over 100K doing some sort of consistent 2-5 or we're playing anywhere between 1-2 and 5-10, let's say, 30, 40 hours a week or something like that. I think that's more of a realistic thing. And I got to run the numbers, though. It's also sort of cool. It's got a cool kind of thing to it. What do you do? I'm a professional poker player. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, and everybody always has some friend of a friend of a friend that in high school or in college made professional. You'll go around. It's amazing how much, oh, yeah, my friends, cousins, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles won some tournament online or so. Oh, God, I hate those stories. But it's true. It's kind of got a sort of cool era. And fifth, and the most important thing about being a professional poker player is what? You love it. You actually love it. You love poker. You love the game. You love the competitive nature about it. You like to travel. You like to spend time in casinos or in cars. And that makes it amazing. That's the true pro. That's why you do this. You do it because it produces money and you love it. And that's something that 99.9% of I don't know what that number is, but a large percentage of Americans don't have. They hate their jobs. They hate what they do in day-to-day life, and if you love poker, then you might as well turn it into a profession. So those are the core 5 pros, right? Now I'm going to discuss the cons, and there's more cons than pros. I don't know why. Maybe I'm negative about it right now, but when I was thinking about it, there's more cons than pros. You guys do me a favor, write some pros or cons if you think there's some more than I talked about in the comments below. First, one of the cons is it's a grind. Poker is always a grind. You're always grinding. And no matter how much you're making, you can be making $3,000 an hour, you're grinding. You have got, just like people have to work to get a paycheck, you have got to play poker to get paid. Right? And that's something I never liked. I wanted more passive forms of income. I want to be sitting on a beach, not playing poker, but sitting on the beach relaxing, and money's coming in from other areas. Okay? The second thing is motivation. You got to be motivated. It's kind of dangerous. It's not like you have to go to work. You don't. You have to have the motivation to get up and play. And if you don't have that, it's tough. It's tough to drag yourself to a casino, right? So hopefully you love it so much, you're just running there. Third, there's no stability, guys. I mean, poker, it is stable if you're looking at from a long-term perspective. I believe it's more stable than other jobs, but there's certain elements about our personality and certain elements about life that make poker playing not so stable. You could be a really solid player, and then all of a sudden somebody in your family passes away and everything goes to shit. This happened to a very good friend of mine, so it's interesting. And the ups and downs, guys, they're rough. They're rough. You can go on downswings and you just lose. You're doing everything right. You're losing. That's sometimes very, very, very difficult to get over. And it creates this life that's very volatile. It's very up and down. Also, there's a little bit of a stigma. Oh, you're a professional poker player. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You're at risk. I don't really consider it a con because those people really usually don't know what the hell they're talking about. But, it is something to consider. Also, it's tough with the marketable, transferable skills. Let's say you played poker for the past 6 years, right? I mean, there's some jobs that I like, and I know bond traders and some financial things, but most, oh, you're a poker player for 6 years. What do you write? Professional poker player on your resume? I know. If you talk to me, I'd hire you in a second. You're a poker player. I know you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But the most of you're hiring, most people they're gonna operate from the stigma. They're not gonna know what it takes to be a professional poker player. They're not gonna know it requires this extreme level of dedication, motivation, concentration, patience, skill sets that I would love to have on my team. So they're not aware of that. So it's something you have to consider. Another thing is it's lonely. It's a lonely game. This is not a collaborative game. You're not working in teams. You're by yourself most of the time. You're by yourself at a table. Then maybe you might run over to your friends and talk, about the game or about the hand. But it is a very lonely and solitary game. Eighth, a big thing about it for me is you're not adding any value to the world at all. You're not changing anything. You're not making a difference. You're just moving around money. It's like any financial job. I mean, if you take that money and donate it or whatever, but like I kind of wanted to do some things that I felt like changed or help people. I really feel like helping people play poker is better than playing poker. At least I'm helping other people realize, their expectations, or realize maybe pay for a trip somewhere or something like that. It feels better. I don't know. But people have different motivations. If you just want to make money, then it's different. Also, the last one I'll leave you with, number 9, is it could be a little boring and repetitive. I mean, listen, you can make a pretty good income sitting at 2.5, playing around 12% of your range, chilling 8 hours a day, 5 days a week in a casino. But some people, it's boring and repetitive. And, if you look at the research about what people like, what are the aspects that people like in job, one of the things is they need environments that are constantly changing. They need some sort of competitiveness. They need a lot of things that I don't think poker meet. And, be careful. Your first year it might be exciting. Second year it might get boring. Third year it might get a little bit repetitive. And once it becomes boring and repetitive, you start making mistakes, which lead to more ups and downs and more of a lack of stability. And it requires it requires a lot from you. It requires you to be on point a large percentage of the time. And that's rough for some people. I mean, to be honest with you, I would never want to be a professional poker player for the rest of my life. It was something I did for a very small period. I'm now moving into other things. I love poker. I love talking about it. I love playing it. I love the fact that it's given me, this level of financial freedom that I can do other things. But I don't know if I'd be wanting to do it for the rest of my life. Doesn't mean you don't, but I think it's just something you really want to ask yourself before jumping into this kind of world. Do you really want to do this? Do you really want it? Okay?